Speaking of heart tugging,
Yes.
Emotional fucking tugging at the heartstrings, as we just said.
Yes.
This week or last week rather on YouTube, I saw and the world saw, anybody that cares, and it was a TV commercial for Arkham Origins, I guess is the game that they're doing.
Oh yeah. The commercial was unbelievable.
Is unbelievable. If you've not seen the commercial, go look it up on YouTube. All you do is go YouTube and enter Arkham Origins or something like that. It was at the top of the page the other day.
Yeah.
Because it's nestled in an advertisement at the top of the most kind of geek-oriented pages right now. But do yourself a favor and click on the 30-second spot that they put together. It is a spellbinding dissertation on the history and pathos of the character of Batman, and they don't really utilize Batman that much. If you haven't seen it yet, go look at it. But if you're somewhere and you're like, fuck it, here, pause this. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Yeah.
So you can experience magic for yourself. And then come back and press, unpause this, and we'll talk about it. Now you're gone, and they're back. Okay. Nobody has accomplished this level of emotion in a Batman movie yet.
Yeah.
Like, you get close in the cartoons, especially in the Batman animated series, particularly we've referenced now 3 times Heart of Ice. That's an emotional fucking representation of that character, more Mr. Freeze and stuff.
Yeah.
This fucking 30-second spot, man. They could have, the Arkham games are known for the action, and you are Batman beating the fuck out of characters and all the darker versions of the characters and shit gone wrong in Gotham and whatnot. And they sell it on a very emotional, lonely piano kind of chords hitting. And it begins with, what do they call that? Uncanny Valley look, like it's a CG character. And it looks not like Polar Express creepy, but it looks almost like real.
Yeah.
Like, looks like a kid actor.
Like a real kid. Yeah.
And it's a kid, and it's all kind of like slow-mo-ish. And then, each cut is the sound of a gun firing, and you jump through his life. First cut you see is young Bruce Wayne. Yeah. And it's tight on his face. It's an extreme close-up, smiling, looking up as if at a parent, and you can get that you'd see bodies kind of next to him, but it's tight on him. And then you see and hear, you see the flash. And you see a bullet, an empty cartridge, empty shell come through the frame, and you hear the boom of a gunshot, and you see the pearls start coming down from the top of the frame, and you watch the little boy. It's fucking moving. I've cried this much since my fucking father died. You see the boy's expression just change in an instant. Go look at this spot. Pure joy for the first 2-3 seconds before the gunshot. 2 seconds, maybe. Maybe 1 even.
Yeah.
And it's gone. Just absolutely erased, and all life drains out of this little boy's face. And a lot of people are like, there was no life. It's a CG character, you fucking wimpy piece of shit. Fuck you. If you don't cry at this, you're a fucking robot, man. So you watch his expression change, drop. Bruce Wayne dies in that moment. And all joy and the light goes out of his fucking eyes. Yeah. And the kid's face, then he's looking up, and he suddenly faces you, looking almost down the barrel.
Yeah.
Utterly fucking bereft. And then bang, you hear the gunshot again, and they cut forward. And it's a young Bruce Wayne in, let's say, it's the funerals, the next shot.
Yeah.
So you're tight on Bruce Wayne, and you see umbrellas around, and there's rain coming down, and it's, he's dressed up, and the utter sadness of I'm alone. Boy at a parent's graveside at the funeral, not making the vow or anything, just there at the funeral. And they hold on that for a few seconds, and the little boy that we begin with is gone. The light in his eyes, it's just that kid hollowed out. Yeah. Then you hear the gunshot again, and they switch to, and this, I don't know why, but this one grabbed me really hard. I'm going to try to get through it without getting emotional.
Yeah.
They show him kind of like prep school age, like boys school age, and he's getting roughed up in a headlock, and they don't change the frame. So it's a close up of the young Bruce watching his parents get killed. Then a close up of Bruce at the funeral, young Bruce at the funeral. Yeah. Then a close up of this younger Bruce, like say 10 to 13 range.
Yeah.
Getting being put in a headlock.
Yeah.
A little bit of blood on his nose, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Being roughed up, but his face, it's unbelievable how they're able to accomplish it with a fucking computer program.
Yeah.
His face is just
same grim.
Yes. Just like this shit.
Yeah.
Like they took my parents. It never fucking ends. Like, you just watch the character get built. And these are 2-3 second increments, these shots.
Yeah.
That one hit me hard. I don't know why. I was never like roughed up on a playground or anything like that. But that shot, I was just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That shot has done more to communicate like why this character impacts so many people. The kid who's just like, who should have been a victim. Uses that instead to be like, I won't let this happen to anybody else again. Yeah. It breaks me up inside. So anyway.
Well, it's like the prep school years. Where was he? I mean, he wasn't going home for
those are Jesus years, dude, right? Yeah. Like they haven't really done, I mean, definitely over the course of the history of comics, they've touched on it. But I was just like, what a great story. Like I mean, I'm sure people have done it. But when they showed that shot of him in like prep school, it's like, oh my God, yeah. Like
he was sent away to school theoretically, and he was probably beaten up every day for, stupid kid with a trust fund and no parents. Let's make fun of him. And he probably got that a lot. And he probably learned, a lot of lessons. It's like, I don't have to, I'm not going to deal with this later.
More of that, dude. Yeah. Like that's like, how they're always talking about like, we want to do fucking young Bruce Wayne or something like that. Do that. Do like him at fucking prep school, like a badass version of School Ties and shit, where he's like, instead of the Jewish kid getting picked on, he's the fucking, the rich kid who lost his parents and he's always solving crimes and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's the fucking,
that's about
CW. There you go.
Yeah.
Man. Although, and that's something we'll add to the list and we'll talk about next.
Yeah.
They talk about that TV show. Gotham. All right, I'm add that to the list. Anyway,
I got into that a little bit with the Hush character, Tommy Elliott.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was like friends with Bruce, but he hated him also. And I did I remember when I did Heart of Hush, there was a little bit of flashback.
What was Heart of Hush? It was a miniseries?
Yeah, it was a miniseries. Dan DiDio said, we've got Hush and we kind of want to flesh him out a little bit. So, there for a brief, because Jeff Loeb established that Tommy Elliott and Bruce Wayne were friends.
Mm.
So I went back to kind of those years where they hung out together and where they were pals. But the thing is that Tommy's mother was this sort of desperate social climber who always said, Bruce Wayne is the kid you want to be. You want to be like Bruce Wayne. And so she saw no value in Tommy, but kept, holding up Bruce as a sterling example. And when Tommy later hears that Bruce's parents were killed, he goes, good. Some misery finally happens to the great Bruce Wayne, but he was still kind of buddies with him.
Right.
So it was it was one of those stories that kind of skips around in time, backwards and forwards to sort of give that little bit of, resonance to that. But that would be a good place to go, is like the lonely kid in boarding school, because fuck, I know that. I've been there. 4
years, dude. Like boarding school generally, how long is it?
In my case, it was high school. So
4 years of high school.
4 years of high school.
You go pitch a show where it's just, we should go, fuck it. Why are we even talking? You and I should go pitch.
Bruce Wayne goes to private school.
It's a 4-year series. Like, fucking, our 5-year mission.
Yeah. Yeah.
We tell them like, this is it, but they might be like, we want more than that. But we're like, look, all we're saying is fucking 4. And then after that, think about it. If the show took off and people were like, we fucking love this.
Yeah.
Even when he's done with 4 years of prep school, then you do the next 4. It's like fucking Smallville. He never puts on the fucking costume, but you use all that pain and fucking see his Jesus years, the lost years between 12 and fucking 30 that also shaped him. Not just the death of his parents, but like the never ending fucking thirst for justice, training, without knowing he's training yet and shit.
It's like the Dark Knight meets Encyclopedia Brown.
Oh,
there you go.
You just gave me a fucking big old bat boner. I would watch that fucking show.
Who wouldn't? I mean, that's a great show. And, Warner Brothers is probably sitting there going, thanks for the free ideas, suckers.
No, we're taking it to him. Copyright fucking Kevin Paul. So,
there we go.
And also, what's his name?
Whoa, Bob Kane.
Yeah. Credit to the guy that created the character as well. But think about it, dude. You could do like, Alfred's a part. Like Alfred, he's not there every episode, but he checks in regularly. He's not there every scene rather, but probably every episode he's checking in on him. You could do stuff like, it's not like he's probably sent away, so it's not in Gotham.
No, but it's nearby.
So maybe the next state over or something like that. So that you could do stuff like, let me see, he's Bruce is that age. You can get corny and do stuff like, Bruce Wayne, meet your roommate, Harvey Dent. Shit like that.
Tommy Elliott's down the hall, like that. You could, and,
guest speaker in the economics course. We have a guest speaker, Oswald Cobblepot.
There you go.
One of the richest men in Gotham and shit like that.
If you have if you're missing home or you're crying, go to see our therapist, Jonathan Crane,
fucking
behind the scene,
dude.
Yes. So he's like 25, I always think of him as like 20 years older than older than the other villains. Cause, he's more like studious, but it's more like, so you're having nightmares, Mr. Wayne. Tell me about these rats, you say? I have a rat right here.
The reason he like Bruce chose this school.
Yeah.
Because it's like what's that movie to Skulls where they have like an underground fucking
the Skull and Bones. Yeah. Yeah.
So he wants to crack this fucking thing. And that's our myth. Oh my, we're going to be rich. That's our mythology.
Yeah.
Is the underlying of every episode is different and shit. Mystery of the week kind of. Yeah. But the underlying mythology is he's at that school, which we learn midway through fucking season 1 to crack this fucking specific skull and bone. So he's trying to get into it. He's undercover essentially.
Yeah.
And this is where it begins. Like the great detective work begins. Yep. And Alfred is just like, he starts figuring it out. Like Alfred's the one that calls him on it when he visits. He's just like, it occurs to me, Master Bruce, that you're far too interested in this organization, blah, blah, blah. And he's, what are you up to? And he's just like, don't worry about it, Alfred. And slowly over the course, by the end of season 1, he's like, if you're going to do this, I'm getting goosebumps, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
in a world where they're doing Sexy Arrow and they're doing Sexy Flash and shit like that, this is a way to do fucking young Bruce Wayne in prep school. He spends 4 years trying to bring down. That's our fucking arc, dude. Just like Homeland is all about go after Abu Nazir.
Yeah.
He's going after the Skull and Bones. So by the end of our 4th season, like that's our it culminates in, hopefully him bringing it down. And the skull, and by the end of that, like you see at the end of season 1, here's our big reveal at the end of season 1 and shit. Like, they're talking about him for membership in the Skull and Bones. Right. And he thinks he's getting closer and blah, blah, blah. And there's also a human story. Maybe there's a girl or whatever. No, it's an all boys school, but there's some girl who works there, some daughter of some motherfucker so that he could fucking maybe fall in love or fucking, I was going to say, let's be brave and take it in the all fucking gay direction.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
They'll never let us do it. So obviously there must be a girl somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And so, we tie up the season with like a human beat where she's always kind of like, oh, Bruce, you got to like lighten up. You're so earnest. Like, let's have fun. Like, blah, blah, blah. So she's like, fighting. He's caught between the battle between his head and heart, but he, has definitely more head than heart and shit. And then our PS scene is like in the Skull and Bones, like fucking citadel under, cause they had like a secret chamber in that movie, the Skulls, and they're talking to whoever our villain is and shit, like who's in charge of the Skull and Bones. Cause of course there's like a Draco Malfoy type kid who's like, I hate Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And then his dad, who's been a member of the fucking Skull and Bones, we just rip off everybody.
Of course,
obviously.
Of course. Yeah.
And so, at the end, he's just like, they're like, do we allow, like, this Wayne is asking too many questions. Do we allow him in? And they're talking to a dude you don't see. And so that guy who you think is in charge of Skull and Bones is talking to his master and shit. And they're like, what should we do? And then he's just like, of course, let him in. We must welcome Mr. Wayne. And he turns and it's fucking Ra's al Ghul. Of course, right?
Of course.
Oh my God. So end of season 1, they're just like, the Skull and Bones is connected to the League of Shadows.
Yes. Yes. Oh, and to make it a little more modern, maybe the symbol of the Skull and Bones is like they all wear owl masks to get in Snyder's.
To get in fucking the Court of Owls.
The Court of Owls.
Dude, we're going to be rich. And we bring in fucking, think about it. This fucking show writes itself and takes care of itself. All we have to do is shepherd it. And then you just bring in the best talent across the boards. and have them write episodes and shit.
Okay, you know, I practically did the show with Tower Prep. That was a show that was on Cartoon Network for 5 minutes.
Don't tell them that, man. they'll be like, fuck you then.
But they kicked it off the air as fast as they could get it on, but it had the secret societies. You should watch some of those episodes.
I remember the show.
But it's like, this would be the continuation of Tower Prep, or, you know, that idea of it.
From the guy who brought you Tower Prep. And the guy who brought you Clerks.
Yeah, there you go. No, this would be really awesome. But
I would watch that show, man. And it's just like, and again, just like in Smallville, like little cops to the world and to the future. And, you know, and he never puts on the suit.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that don't happen till the bat crashes through his window in the future. But we also get to do, say, if we make it to season 3, or maybe in season 2, we start fucking around with this. Yeah. Because season 1 sets up the world in the arc and people are like, shit. And we give them a little taste of everything. But season 2, we start doing flash forwards. Yeah. Where he's older, but he's still not Batman. We're doing the lost suit.
Flash forwards.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now we're stealing from the best, dude. And he's not, again, we never take it to the suit and shit. It's just, but it's like to moments like him in the chair. Yeah. Like you open episode season 2, episode 1 is, blood on the carpet. Yeah. Shadowy, massive library, high back chair, and you see his arm over it, bloodied, and then we're on him, and you see bruised up, and he went at it like himself, like it was almost from year 1. Yeah. And he went out like in fucking, you know, a skull cap or whatever, and fucking dark clothes and a harness and shit, and just got fucked up big time. Bleeding and shit, and you know, there's the fucking little table, and it's got the bell on it.
Yeah, there you go.
And so right away, people are like, oh my God, like they're coming back with a fucking vengeance. Yeah. And then you put up like in American Horror Story, how they'll like do some kind of scene and then they'll throw up the date. So you're like, okay, that's where we are. So we throw up, you know, 20 years from now. Yeah. And it's the moment before the bat comes through the window. So it's him, and you on him after you see all these shots, they're finally on his eyes, and he can't keep his eyes open. He's losing consciousness and shit like that. And no dialogue, nothing, but it's, you know, everybody who knows it knows. And you tell the story enough in a way where people don't know Batman are like, what does this mean? And it's just him, whether or not he's going to go for the bell and shit like that. Yeah. And then, you know, you just hear from outside, like the rustling of something. And with as much energy as he can muster, he kind of looks to his right, and flying at the window is a shape, a shadow. You don't quite see what it is. And just as it's about to impact and you see like the fucking window start to splinter, we come back to our present.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And it's something that parallels.
Yes. And it's him with some big decision to make. That's the theme of the episode, obviously, is like in that moment. Yeah. Do I pick up the bell or don't I, or what? Or do I be this guy? Is this worth it or not? And we're not saying that. We're showing it by his debilitated condition and shit like that. And then that's just a flash forward. But in our present, it's the same thing. Like young Bruce has a choice to make. So you go from that dramatic opening to a flash present, and it's, you know, him facing down someone in the Skull and Bones chamber.
You know what it could be? It's like, he's got like in the Skull and Bones, when they meet, they wear these like, you know, like the barn owl masks or something like that. So you cut back from the bat flying through the window to him he's got a mask that he's taken from one of the guys, and he paints it black and he puts it on. So he's the black owl. So he's the enemy of the Skull and Bones. And they don't know that he's got the mask.
Oh my God. And that's our pre-credit sequence. We're not even at the credits, opening credit yet.
And what happens is during the course of the year, he gets the owls run out of the school, you know, where he gets the Skull and Bones. So they're cut off from the school. So that's the victory for that year. But next year there's something worse.
Right. You know, cut off the head of the Hydra, something else pops up.
You know, they start experimenting with a new chemical that makes kids laugh a lot, you know, or something like that.
Oh my God, the origins. And then by the end of the season, they just start
experimenting with this kid.
No one will ever use this. Like
it's
get
like
rid
Ritalin,
of this.
You know, it's like, this will cheer up the kids. You know, you give them like an advanced form of Ritalin.
They test it. Yes. There's a pharmaceutical company that tests within the school. Right. And fucking Bruce is like, what is this? Something's going, like, I can sense
Yes.
a taste difference, blah, blah, blah. Like he's onto it before anybody else. And the school has made some sort of fucking expensive deal with a pharmaceutical company to test out a kind of more user-friendly Ritalin that wouldn't require a prescription.
It keeps kids happy, though.
Yes.
And then he meets the doctor who's a real young doctor.
Jackie, shut the fuck. This is legendary. Go.
He meets, like, they bring in a really young doctor, like an intern. It's like, what's your name? Just call me Dr. Happy.
Yes, bitch. Yes. And they cut, and by the end of that arc, man, it's just like Bruce foils it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just like, it's him and Alfred.
Yeah.
Like burying it or doing something with it where like you can't ignite it because if you tried to burn it, if you pour it in the water, you know, they make a joke where he's like, we can't just pour it in the ocean.
Look what it's doing to the fish.
Yes. Like it put weird, what would it do to the fish? So you give a nod to the laughing fish.
Yeah.
Can't burn it because it would go airborne and shit like that. So him and Alfred like bury it on an island off Gotham, like one of those little tributaries or whatever, sandbar off Gotham late at night and shit. Yeah. And you see like a very wealthy boat and, you know, speedboat or whatever. Yeah. And him and this younger valet digging a hole and burying these barrels of fucking, or maybe it's sinking a boat or something. No, we don't want to put it in the water. Yeah. But, you know, it's in a way.
One of those little islands near the Statue of Liberty. When you go on the Statue of Liberty tour, you know, like the government owns those.
Yes.
Places.
But Wayne, he's just like, I was wondering why you bought this.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
He was just like, this is a place nobody will ever touch. It's government protected, Alfred. Yeah. Most importantly, we can't put it in the water for this. We can't burn it because of this. It won't ever fall. Putting it here won't ever fall into the wrong hands. Yeah. And then you end the episode with a flash forward to, you know, 20 years later, and you see like, you know, the hole is dug and you're seeing dirt flying out of it. Yeah. And then the shovel comes over out of the hole. Yeah. And then, you hear the giggling and you see a hand reach onto the earth to pull himself out and shit.
Purple glove.
Oh God, dude. I want to watch this shit.
Okay. Third season.
Yes.
The school goes co-ed, and there's a really ballsy chick who moves into the dorm. Comes from the same background as Bruce.
You're making me hard.
Silver St. Cloud.
Oh God.
Silver St. Cloud comes on as the first girls' school student.
We got to do her. Maybe that's the girl. She goes to the neighboring girls' school. So we got her from season 1, and that's the girl interest. Where I thought you were going season 3. Yeah. Is a very athletic girl who like fights her way. Like, you know, she's that girl. She's given the school so much shit in the courts and demanded that the state, you know, let her attend this school. Like, she's who is it? What's her name? Selena Kyle.
There you go.
So she's introduced as the first female student in the boys' school. And this is where some of the hardcore fans are like, fuck you, this timeline. But in a new 52 world where she's not even a hooker anymore, we can do what we're doing.
And we could do like the girl who, you know, you got Harley in there. She's there on a scholarship, poor girl on a scholarship who's like, you know, the bad girl and stuff like that. You know, bring her in at some point.
She goes to the neighboring school.
She goes to the neighboring school on a scholarship or something like that. And, but God, you know, when I did Heart of House of, and then the follow up to it, I'll get you those if you haven't read them. I did tell a story back in Thomas Wayne's early days before he settled down with Martha. One of his drinking buddies was Zatara, who I played like, David Blaine or, you know, David Copperfield.
And this is Zatanna's dad.
Zatara, you go out and do bar trips for girls and go, oh, a magician. And oh, Thomas Wayne, you've got money. And they wind up getting drunk and laid together. Right. So there were some early stories I did with Zatanna, who I imagine was about 4 or 5 years younger than Bruce, you know, kind of being in that circle. So Tommy Elliott kind of knows her, but I would not give her powers at that point. It's more like you're 16, the witchy powers show up or something like that. But, you know, there's a whole, you can people this with everybody. Cobblepot could be there, you know, he could be like the rich kid. He could either be the older guy or you make him like, you know, like Martin from The Simpsons, you know, like the prissy kid who's, the mean, rich prissy kid. They could all be in there.
One by one, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like Harvey Dent has to be kind of Bruce's age. Otherwise,
Harvey Dent should be like his best pal.
Yeah.
So that makes, it's the
God.
Bruce and Harvey show. You know?
Yes. Like they're the fucking Dante and Randall. They are that.
Yeah, they are. They're roommates. They're best pals. They really are.
And it makes what's to come. Like, it's not like, it'd be way Baroque to be like, it's fucking Bruce Wayne and the Joker as youngsters. No, but it's like him and Harvey Dent, and why they get along is like a sense of fairness, justice, and also like Harvey was, fucking, I don't like those skull. Like, a friend of mine had a bad experience with them. If I can do, like, you shouldn't even be interested in these cats. Like, they wind up in a room together, and we do, opening scene, dude, is fucking them.
Harvey's the kid on the scholarship. He's the poor kid. Like, his parents had to sell everything to get him there. And Bruce has it easy. They're all over him. And Harvey.
That's the plot of the first episode is how they get in the rooms together.
Yeah.
Is like Bruce has a massive fucking suite of his own.
Yeah.
And Harvey is the fucking not trust fund kid, the
poor kid.
Poor kid who's there on scholarship. And then some of the other rich kids, I don't want a fucking room with this welfare case and shit like that.
Yeah.
And there's a scuffle, and then they frame him to fucking like get him out of the fucking school and shit like that. And he's heartbroken because he's going to lose a scholarship. And then Bruce realizes something's wrong. And so they work together to prove, Bruce works with him to prove him fucking, wrong. The other kid gets fucking suspended. And that's the Draco Malfoy type boy.
Yeah.
But, they're like, still
that's Elliot,
Bruce.
Tommy Elliott. Hush.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So he's like, still Bruce at the end of the day, like, we just don't have room. Like, we filled the kid's room. And he's like, well, you know what? He can live with me.
Yeah.
And so Harvey moves into Bruce's suite, and he's of course got his own room and shit.
Yeah.
But that's when episode 1, they start rooming together in Bruce's dorm, and they're both bonded by a sense of like what's right. And they're also, neither of them trust this fucking Skull and Bones. And that's where you start to get the feeling that that's what Bruce went to that school specifically for. Yeah. Yeah. And why that school? Like, why not any more? I mean, is it any deeper than, hey man, I hear some shit's gone on, or is it like, do we tie it into, I mean, you can't take it as far back as Joe Chill, but maybe it's, who's the mob boss in Gotham?
Falcone. Yeah.
Maybe it's Falcone's kid.
Yeah.
Is there, and he's trying, it's all tied into him trying to fucking find out, of course.
Right.
Who killed his parents, who, like, we all know Joe Chill did it, but fucking he believes that Falcone fucking,
there was like Boss Zuko, and then there was like guys who paid. Yeah, I forget who it was who paid to have the Waynes killed.
Up the chain. Yeah, so it's not enough that, well, number one, in our world, Joe Chill, was he caught or wasn't he caught? In the comics, he was never caught.
In the old comics, Batman discovered who it was, and he took off his mask and said, I'm the son of the man you killed. I'm Batman. And Chill was so freaked out, he ran into a room of gangsters and said, years ago, I killed a guy. Now that guy's kid's grown up. He's Batman. And they go, you're responsible for Batman. And they kill him before they find out. Conveniently.
The dumbest criminals in history.
It's like we could have found out who Batman was.
They redid it on the Brave and Bold.
I wrote that one.
Did you write that one?
I wrote that one, yeah.
That was the most emotional Brave and Bold up until the end episode where, everything was closed down.
Yeah.
But it's Brave and Bold was very wonderful show. We've talked about it before. Yeah. But very high camp and very like the fun of Batman and shit like that. But that episode was uncharacteristically darker, kind of like Batman animated series emotional, because they went and you did that storyline.
Yeah, I couldn't have Batman kill the guy, of course, and I couldn't have any of the villains kill him, but the Spectre was in it. So as Chill is running out, the building kind of collapses on him in Michael Fleischer type way, like the comic books, and then Phantom Stranger says to him, strange how the building collapsed just over Chill, and Spectre, played by Mark Hamill, goes, I wouldn't know anything about that. I wanted to give it the Spectre kind of like feeding the guy into the wood chipper, or bizarre death type thing.
Excellent.
But this
episode.
Bruce Wayne in prep school, man, it writes itself, and it can be really.
And you get to tie in shit.
Yeah.
And like there's the what is it called? The statistics student, Nigma.
Yeah.
Who, you keep going, dude. Maybe you don't do it like everyone in season 1.
Yeah.
But you keep layering throughout.
Well, Harvey is really interesting because.
Go back to this origin. So he's there because, a random thug killed his parents, and then I don't know whether or not Chill is caught or not, or in our version, but still, it's like this guy's connected to the fucking Zuko mob, which is connected to the Falcone mob, which is, that's what's killing Gotham and killed my parents. His kid is going to this prep school.
Right.
Falcone's kid or whatever. And he's been there for 2 years, and he's a member of this fucking Skull and Bones or Owl Society or whatever. And so that's what drives him to that school, because if he can fucking get in tight with that kid, bring down that fucking Skull and Bones Society, but also fucking, you know, get closer to the guy who essentially is responsible for the death of his parents.
Right.
So it all, of course, ties in back to that. And that's what Alfred is helping him figure out. So you got Alfred on the ground, like in Buffy, he's there.
Yeah.
What is he called?
Jarvis.
Yes. No.
Was that? No. Giles.
Yeah. So, you know, you got your adult figure who's not in every scene, but like they can hang out and come. They could periodically, Alfred checks in on him once a week, and Bruce's suite at the fucking, you know, the school is obviously decked out, and fucking it is like Spider-Man's Amazing Friends. So like panels turn and shit like that. So we get a little bit of the old Adam West Batman in there, but Harvey doesn't know about it. So you get moments where like, oh, hold on, you know, and he's fucking, and his computer equipment. I mean, you don't even need that.
And
you would just close in the modern age, you would just close a laptop.
Yeah,
like, come in. But something, you know, there's an element of fucking James Bondian, or superhero-y or super, you know, Batcavian kind of technology that has to be hidden away from Harvey. So we get a few kind of comedic beats there. He's like, Bruce, man, like we all do it. Don't worry about it. Like, you know, you don't have to freak out. Lock the door.
Right. You know, just clean up after. Here's a sock. You know, just clean up afterwards.
Just if a girl's here, put a tie on the door. But if there's not a girl, just put a sock on the door.
There you go. We'll throw one more geek thing at you. One of the reasons he wanted to go there was, you know, you can say, Alfred would say, why else do you want to go there? And Bruce says, well, they have good athletic program. And you see him working out with this coach, whose name is like, you know, Joe Smith or something. And, at some point, Bruce says to him, you know, I know your name is Joe Smith now, but it used to be Ted, whatever his name was. It used to be Wildcat. And he's been there for, you know, he was Wildcat. His name, his identity was never exposed, but Ted Grant. But Bruce cracked it. And this guy has been working there as a coach for the last 15 years under another name. And he says, train me. And he was like the first Gotham superhero. And
he's like, I'm out of that game. And I'm certainly not going to bring a child into it. Thus, and you do a flash. Well, you can't flash forward because we never want to show him in the uniform. Yes. Yeah. You could still do a flash forward to young Dick.
Yes.
And without doing Batman in the outfit, you do a young Dick kind of flashback because maybe, let me see. In this world, basically, it's kind of like his relationship with Ted.
Yes,
sets the tone.
Bruce and Dick.
Yeah, training. Sets the tone for adult. And child in the war zone, like where he's like, I'm not going to train a kid. You're 13. How old are you when you go to prep school?
Yeah, I was 13.
You're 13 years old. Am I going to teach you the stuff I know? And he's just like, why would I do that? He's doing because I want to wage war. Why? On what? On crime. And he's just like,
have you met my parents? Oh no, you haven't, because they're fucking dead.
Bingo. Oh,
they're in a fucking alley. That's where I go every night with the two roses if you weren't watching.
So he gives them this kind of shit where he's just like, so the way I see it, Mr. Grant, you'll either train me or you'll be looking for a job elsewhere tomorrow.
Yes. And dealing with some 20-year-old lawsuits.
So he's basically like caught between a rock and a hard place. So he's like kind of begrudgingly begins training Bruce. So he enjoys like fucking like, here, grab this pole, and fucking whacking him in the head with it. He's like, I told you to grab it. And shit like that. Yeah. So he could be a little more rough with him and shit, which is what he'll need. 20 or 10 years, 15 years from now. When he's in an alleyway. And you could go out and get the best martial artist. And that role could be played by anybody. You get a terrific white actor, black actor, anybody, just to play, Wildcat in his later days and his mentor, like he's got Alfred and then he's got, Ted, sitting there at the school. That could be really cool. And you have on campus. There's, when they have houses, I mean, he would have his own, like, kind of, like a dorm, but still it would be in a building.
He'd be a dorm master. We're talking about Ted or Bruce. He'd be in a dorm. Yeah.
Well, they got a lady, a house mother.
Yeah.
And she's like, you can just call me Ann Harriet.
Perfect.
So you get a nice little
So that's where she came in. Yes. Yeah, there you go.
Everything has its place.
Everything has its place. It all works. Oh my
God.
Oh God. And then the new stuff is in there. The old stuff is in there. And
you thread the needle, and without ever fucking having him put on the mask, without ever introducing the notion of a bat.
Yeah.
This is all before that. This is all before he ever gets the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, if you get once or twice, like throughout the run of the show, if you ever go back to Wayne Manor or something for Christmas, there's a bat in the house. Oh,
yeah.
I mean, get it out of here, please.
Yeah.
We got to get it out because I can't stand bats. You know that, blah, 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 whatever. But it'll get better writing than that. I assure you. We got Paul Dini in our fucking writing staff. You'll get better quality writing than that.
I mean, you do the thing like it's a Halloween party, and it's like, here's a Batman. I'm not wearing that damn thing.
Yes.
I'll take the Sherlock Holmes hat. Give me that.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm ready to watch that show. Jeff Johns.
Yeah.
We're going to pitch that show.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. And it's like it's an all-star cast and crew in terms of like, we pull together all the writers, like Scott Snyder, you write help
you write the Owls story,
all of it. It's like you take 2 episodes, I'll take 2 episodes. We would have fucking what's a standard season for CW?
22 episodes.
So who else do we grab? People that like we're like, oh shit, I've always liked that cat stuff. God, we know enough writers.
We know enough
everybody.
Writers.
Grant Morrison. They're like, Grant, write couple scripts, and he'd write the trippy fucking.
He'd write the one where Bruce has the stuff slipped in his coffee.
Yes,
yes,
where he's just like
the mind expanding
us.
Yeah, there we
go. The beginning of the smile. He'll write the Smilex run, the pharmaceutical episode.
Yeah. Oh, the one with Jonathan Crane, experimenting on the kids and stuff like that.
Shit, writes itself. It's a dream team. We put together a dream team, and we do the Batman show without Batman that every Batman fan
written by Batman fans.
Yes.
Yeah. And no writers coming in saying, well, I don't really understand that kind of shit.
And we pull from the universe. There's almost, of course, naturally, like, since it's not set in Gotham.
Yeah.
Or fucking, maybe it is. Like, we don't have to. It's
probably the same state, It's like when I went to prep school, I lived in San Francisco, and then I went, Monterey was the next town. It could be in Bloodhaven, outskirts of Bloodhaven.
Oh!
There you go.
Oh, you made me so happy. Yes.
Bloodhaven, yeah.
He's going to the
Bloodhaven Academy. That's it.
Oh my God. And that's it. So years later, you never show Batman in the suit again.
Yeah.
Never. But in one of our flash forwards.
Yeah.
You're in Bloodhaven.
Yeah.
With a fucking, young Dick Grayson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before he puts on the suit or something like that. Something, blah, blah, blah. He's at the school.
Yeah.
Speaking.
Right.
And, there's to the kid. And so he's like, I went here.
Yeah.
And, the guy who changed my life went here. So this is a great school. Welcome to orientation and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then like you see, as he's speaking to the crowd in the background through the windows, there's no Nightwing light or something like that.
No.
How would they contact him? Or, it's not fucking, we're in the age of the cell phone.
Yeah, there you go.
Fucking boom. He just gets a text of just like black mask.
Yeah.
Spotted, or black mask exclamation points across the boards.
Well, that way, you do it as if Bruce's story is happening today. He's 14 years old today. So he's got today's technology. So Batman's technology 20 years from now is going to be, like Tony Stark, but to the ultimate,
right.
It's going to be 20 years in the future. So you can do a more futuristic taste of Batman when you do those the flash forwards in the future.
Bloodhaven though, dude. That's
Bloodhaven
perfect.
Academy.
That makes all fans fucking happy. Like, oh my God. So you're close enough to Gotham.
Yeah.
Where he could, and honestly, he's just like, Alfred is always like, Master Bruce, you don't even have to go away. He's like, I always felt it was weird. And that's what explains why the fuck would this guy go to school so close to fucking Gotham, but he's going for a reason. Right. Because he's trying to, and he wants to stay close to Gotham because it's tied to Zuko and Falcone, and they want their kid close enough, and Bloodhaven's close enough, and also they're using the kid and his skull and bones to recruit for fucking, the mob and shit like that.
Well, it's like Yale is in New Haven, that's close enough to New York, or Rutgers is over in Jersey, and that's close enough to Manhattan. So it's like it's like an hour's drive to get to.
And Alfred's always like,
Gotham.
You could be home educated by in fact, Bruce, let's be honest. You're rich enough. You don't need to be educated. You don't have to go to school at all if you don't want it. But yet you choose to go to all prep schools in the world. Bloodhaven Academy in the, gorgeous grounds, but in the middle of one of the most crime-ridden cities outside of Gotham. Like so you get Gotham without doing Gotham. And then you do episodes where they're like, we're going to Gotham this weekend. You coming, Bruce?
Yeah.
And shit like that. And
you could do whole episodes where you're just waiting for the teachers to get in on like Crane versus Grant, like what's going on here, Crane? And the coach comes in and is all real pissed off. And it's like, you don't have any play. Get back to the gymnasium, that sort of thing.
It's got so much Harry Potter to it as well.
It does, yeah.
We're really stealing good from the best.
And, you could create new villains that would like, introduce a guy here and then bring him into the comics, and
yeah, like fucking you did. That's true. Yeah. All we're doing is ringing bells that have been rung, but in the Batman animated series,
Harley came in.
You weren't content to just be like, we'll just work with the same colors. You brought new fucking colors to the palette, so maybe you can create a fucking character here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That goes into the same thing. You can do it again, but instead of animation, live action. Yeah. You create a character so cool that like, we got to bring that character into the comics.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Like some people would assume having a character in a movie, TV show, that's winning. But people like us were like, if they would just accept her into the continuity, finally my life would be validated.
Yes.
All right. We're fucking on to something.
Okay.
And Jeff is going to listen to this because I'm going to fucking email and be like, dude, you must listen. There is a fucking show here.
Yeah.
But there's enough talent and fucking, the big dicks of Batman tour.
It should all be fan written,
Yes.
And then we get in like, okay, if we don't know what we're doing, if we're being, incompetent, then we get, a couple of like story editors who, okay, we'll make this more TV, structure, but, take the stories from the guys who write the comics.
But it's like the philosophy of the comic book movies. In the beginning, they're like, we don't want them to look like they look in the comics. They look stupid. Make them all dress in black leather and shit.
Well, they work for us.
Yeah. Now it's like people are like, we want authentic. So it won't matter what a story editor is like. You got to make it more TV. We're going, no. We're going to make it more our world. But we've done it. You worked on fucking Lost. Dude.
Yeah. You get a guy
you got the chops. Like it's not like we're pigs in a poke and shit. No. You've done some quality work here.
But somebody like Damon Lindelof knows Batman backwards and forwards and speaks it fluently. Javier Grillo Marxwatch, who did the
He would come on and write episodes
He would. Yeah. Oh man. He'd try and keep him away.
You know what I'm saying? Like you could go to Damon and be like, dude, write a couple episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. And all those guys, they, that's the thing about now the showrunners who are between, I'd say 30 and 55 is they all grew up living, breathing, eating comics. Mm-hmm. And it's not like the previous generation that has little or no, who gave them up when they were kids. These are all guys dyed in the wool and who know these characters backwards and forwards. So, and they also know TV writing, so they could come in and, craft a great show about that. And, it can be done.
You know who the headmaster of the school is? Who? Professor Hugo Strange.
Oh, fuck, of course.
Oh, dude. Oh.
Of course.
Oh, God.
Welcome, students.
It's just too sweet. And he's always conducting bizarre experiments with the boys that people don't know about. He presents in one way, but then, you get to play him. Kelly Leak from Bad News Bears, who played Rorschach. Mm-hmm. What's his name? His name escapes me. I'm a little stony right now, but him.
Yeah.
He could be younger Dr. Hugo Strange, that's where his fascination with fucking like Bruce Wayne begins.
Oh, I can see it.
Before it becomes the fascination with Batman years later. Then when you imagine one day he puts it all together where he's like, I had him at the source. That's what you do. A flash forward where it's just like, you fucking see like this old bald man, Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
And then you cut inside and a bald man fucking just in a cell, just like fucking cutting himself and talking to himself.
He's in a straitjacket. He was right there. I made him.
Yes, it was all my fault. And that shows the episode where maybe you do it end of first season or near the end of first season where that's where you find out like not only is the Skull and Bones up to bad shit, Professor Hugo Strange is fostering it as well, allowing it to happen. So in Bruce's mind, he's just like, if I cut off the head of the snake, he's 13. He don't realize.
Right.
He's like, I cut off the head of the snake. It's Hugo Strange. So finally he gets him fucking out. Like that's our first season storyline. He's like, I gotta get fucking the dean, the headmaster out of here and shit. But that's when he finds out it goes far deeper. We see Ra's al Ghul at the end of the episode, last episode and shit.
Yeah.
But the flash, the end, our season 1 finale is old bald man in jail saying, it was all my fault. And then you flash the date of like 20 years and later or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he says, rambles a few more things, and then you slowly pull out of the cell, and then you see Strange, H with a cell number on, and fucking blah, blah, blah. And then flash to the present, and it's the beginning of the episode where eventually Bruce Wayne brings Hugo Strange down.
Yeah. Yeah. You open the episode with a limo pulling up to the grounds of the academy. The headmaster comes out to meet, like a prospective parents. This one little kid gets out with his butler, and it's Strange showing Bruce around the campus. And then you have that scene with Alfred saying to him that you just said that, you can go anywhere. You can be homeschooled. You don't need this. And it's like, no, I'm coming here.
You look like they're standing on the front lawn and massive gates, but just outside the well manicured lawns and grounds, just outside the gates.
Yeah.
Utter fucking poverty.
Detroit. Downtown Detroit.
Or fucking New York in the 70s.
Yeah,
just like this gorgeous enclave of education for the fucking privileged.
Yeah.
In the middle of absolute fucking, like, there's prostitution. There's fucking a dude got mugged. You can almost see. There's streets look fucking bad, boarded up buildings and shit. Yeah. And Alfred's just like, you could be we could pull strings. You could be in Harvard at age 13.
Yeah, absolutely. These things are done. Yes.
And you just see young Bruce's point of view, and it's all the crime just outside the fucking fence. All the rich. Right at his feet. And like just outside the fence. All those without and all the bad that needs to be stopped. And then you go close on his face and he's just like, no, it's here.
Yeah.
It's Bloodhaven.
Yeah.
And Hugo Strange is just like, well, I'm so glad to hear that because I feel like we have an exquisite program.
Yes.
One that not only builds healthy bodies, but healthy minds. Oh, dude. Oh, and so at the end, before we see Ra's al Ghul, that we hear his voice, he's talking about like, Strange, we find out Strange was part of the I don't know if they're called League of Shadows at that point or whatever, but Strange was part of this fucking Illuminati and shit. And he was just like, Strange was meant to be stronger than this. He set this boy has set our program back years. Who is this? And his name is Wayne. I was like, oh, the Wayne child. We'll have to keep our eye on him. And that's when he turns and you see fucking Ra's al Ghul.
I think it's time for this boys' school to go co-ed. Don't you agree, Talia? I'll pack my bags, Daddy.
Oh, God, dude.
There you go.
Oh.
But
I want the show.
But we also
I want the show.
I want the show.
Fuck you. Take my money. I will pay to have this fucking show made, dude.
Yeah.
I'd watch that with my kid. Even without kids, I'd watch that fucking show.
Yeah. Yeah.
This could be modern day Buffy. And still, we haven't even gotten out of the fucking Arkham Origins commercial. This all came from that one fucking shot.
That's not of him.
That's how good that commercial is. Okay, so whether or not you play games or not, though, seek out, do yourself a favor. If you're a Batman fan, you have to. In fact, it's not even a favor. As a Batman fan, your only assignment is you have to go watch that Arkham Origins 30-second commercial. So worth your time. So artfully done. So inspiring. That we got a whole episode alone out of fucking prep school Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne fucking, we still need to come up with a name for it.
I like Bloodhaven Academy, but,
it's not sexy.
No, it's not. Before the Bat.
I mean, that's what the network would say.
Yeah.
But it's just like, that is, and young Bruce Wayne is not, it's way too on the nose. What do they call Arrow? They call Arrow.
Smallville, they call Smallville.
Because it's set in Smallville. So, but that's the thing. It'd be called Bloodhaven. It's set in Bloodhaven, but it doesn't. I mean, I guess you could. You can technically call it Bloodhaven Academy, but that's kind of a mouthful.
It doesn't really sell Batman.
Yeah, and it doesn't roll off the tongue either. And you'd be fighting right up until air date. They're like, call it Shadow of the Bat.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is. It's that fucking simple. And that I can live with because I'm like, all right, there was a comic book called Shadow of the Bat.
Shadow of the Bat.
We're getting together, man. We're going to fucking get up with Jeff Johns' face and be like, come on, dude, let's go pitch this to CW. I know there have been a few incarnations of a potential young Bruce Wayne series. Right. They tried to spin one off of Smallville, but I think your creds, my creds, current comic book world creds, we bring in Snyder, bring in Grant Morrison, create a fucking dream team of Bat fans writing this fucking show.
Have Neil Gaiman write a couple of those. He's been off writing Doctor Who episodes.
I'm sorry. I almost dropped the microphone as if I said something brilliant. You're absolutely right. Neil could fucking write episodes.
Neil could write the shit out of this.
And again, this is the Batman show in which you'll never see a Batarang.
Right.
You'll never see the utility belt. You'll see the origins.
Yeah.
Like, maybe fucking he goes out and he's, fucking, I need more pockets or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But you never, no cape, no cow. That's our fucking ad. No cape, no cow, all justice.
There you go.
Shadow of the Bat.
Shadow of the Bat.
That's a project worth pitching. I'm going to hammer that, man. I'm working on this walrus picture right now, Tusk. And that came from sitting around on a podcast going like, imagine if. We're going to start pushing this one, man. This is a whimsy worth fucking chasing for him.
Yeah, this is like telling the guys at Warner Brothers, there's a pot of gold buried in your backyard. All you have to do is just give us some shovels.
Let us dig it up for you. You kick back and you can have all the money. We just want the pot. And I mean, when I say pot, you know what I mean.